and the forecast. You need to leave your umbrella at home. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 2, the Torah portion, Bukukatai, in my laws. Let's continue now in the book of Leviticus, Vayikra, chapter 26, and we'll go back and read verse 4 again. He says, "Then I shall give you rain in its season." What does he mean, rain in its season? Here in America, we can get rain just about any day, anytime during any time of the year. Matter of fact, today I'm supposed to be outdoors this afternoon, and it's very overcast, and I'm afraid it's going to rain me out. May have to take my umbrella with me. But when the rain that we're talking about today comes, you don't want to stop from getting wet. You want to be right in the middle of it. What rain are we talking about? First of all, let's begin with understanding that in the rain seasons of Israel, somewhere around late October, November, there is the former rains. These are rains that come, for us, at the end of the growing season, but for Israel, it's the preparation for the seeding of the soils and so forth. And then there is the latter rain that takes place in the spring, which prepares then for the harvest time to come in the spring, initially the barley harvest. And so in Israel, as having a desert climate, Yah says, I will send to you rain in its season. Too little rain, and we have droughts and famine. Too much rain, we have flooding issues. So Yah says that my favor upon you and those living in the land, those who are walking according to my commands, my favor is demonstrated towards you in that the rain comes when it's supposed to. It comes in the correct amount. The ground drinks it in, receives the seed, is nourished at the end, and the seed comes to its fruition and is ready to be harvested. The cycle works the way it's supposed to. If we compare what is being said here to the book of Hoshea, we read in chapter number 6, in verse 1, it says, "Come, let us return back to Yahweh," that is, to make teshuvah. "For he has torn us, but he does heal us. He is stricken, but he binds us up. After 2 days," or after 2,000 years, "he does revive us. And on the third day is the day that life springs forth from the ground." We're talking about the resurrection here. "On the third day, he shall raise us up so that we live before him." That is a reference to the coming of the resurrection and the appearance of the kingdom. Now, verse 3 and 4. "So let us pursue to know Yahweh. His going forth is as certain as the morning, and he comes to us like the rain, like the latter rain, watering the earth." That is, he comes to us in the correct season, in the correct amount, and a fruit-giving, life-giving means. But then he makes a comparison to the house of Ephraim, the house of Israel, those who are wayward and have been lost among the nations. This is what he says in verse 4, "Ephraim, what would I do with you?" It's almost as if Yah is saying, I'm about ready to throw up my hands at you. I don't know what else to do. "Yehuda, what would I do with you?" Well, those in Judaism, you have the same issue. What is it? "For your loving commitment is like a morning cloud, and like the early dew, it goes away." He is saying to us, oh, you have your days of being wet. You have your moisture. But it's not seasonal. It's very, very daily, temporary. Moisture shows up like dew on the ground. You bask and you glisten in the light of the sun, but under the heat of the day you evaporate. In other words, you walk according to my outpouring. This is a description of the work of the Ruach HaKodesh, the latter rain. He says, your spiritual walk is momentary. You have your moments, but when the heat comes, when the sun is hot, you evaporate and there's nothing left. Further explanation is found in the book of Yoel or Joel, chapter number 2. And it says, verse 23, and you children of Sion, be glad and rejoice in Yahweh your Elohim, for he shall give you the teacher of righteousness, and cause the rain to come down for you, the former and the latter rain as before. Here we see a connection then between learning to do righteousness and the outpouring of rain. When Israel walked in obedience to Yah's commands, the rain came correctly. When they walked in disobedience, then the rain failed to show up. Continuing. And the threshing floor shall be filled with grain, and the vats will overflow with new wine and oil. Then I shall repay you the years that the swarming locust is eaten, the crawling locust, the consuming locust, and the gnawing locust, my great army, which I sent among you. Then you shall eat and be satisfied, and shall praise the name of Yahweh your Elohim, who has done with you so wondrously. My people shall never be put to shame. It says in verse 28, and after this it shall be that I pour out my spirit upon all flesh. Your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your old men dream dreams, your young men see visions, and also my male servants, my female servants, I shall pour out my spirit in those days. So we're talking about the vital connection then between obedience that would bring the physical rain in its season so that we eat and are satisfied even after a time of devastation and judgment. But then he says, I'm also going to pour out upon you, by connection, a reference of rain of my spirit. I'm going to rain that down on you, and without class observance, from the top to the bottom, all are going to receive of my spirit and of my power. Now, finally, let's go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter number 5. Verse number 22. Do you not fear me, declares Yahweh? Do you not tremble at my presence, who have placed the sand as the boundary of the sea by an everlasting law, and it does not pass over? Though its waves toss to and fro, they are not able. Though they roar, they do not pass over it. But this people has a backsliding, rebellious heart, and they've turned aside and gone away. They do not say in their heart, let us now fear Yahweh our Elohim, who gives rain, both the former and the latter, in its season. He guards for us the required by law weeks of harvest. Your crookednesses have turned these away, and your sins have kept the good away from you. For among my people are found wrong men who lie in wait, who set snares. They have set up a trap, and they catch men. That we're laying in wait for one another. We're trying to take advantage of one another. And Yah says, don't you know that it's my decreed law that keeps the waves from running past their boundaries? Don't you understand that this required law, this weeks of harvest, I'm the one who set that in motion for you? I'm the one who puts the latter rain and the former rain in your possession to your benefit. And you're going to receive my blessing and then mistreat each other. It's more than just keeping Shabbat and eating a clean plate of food and keeping the feast days. Those are the big three that we seem to observe. But the Torah is filled with commands concerning relationship. And here's where we fail. If we want the outpouring of rain upon our ground and in our homes, we need to be obedient. If we want the outpouring of the Spirit, even more so, we must be obedient by treating one another correctly. Be nice today and receive of his Spirit. And we'll talk more tomorrow. To then, shalom.